Communities across Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands have been battered by Tropical Cyclone Maila, which is now moving towards the Far North Queensland coast. We have Connor Byrne in Cairns and Marion Farr in Papua New Guinea's capital, Port Moresby.
Well, Ros, we've seen severe destruction in a number of island communities over the past couple of days, particularly in Western Province of Solomon Islands. There are images emerging of widespread flooding, storm surges and buildings that have been torn down by this storm. There were reports of 4 people missing at sea, but thankfully police have just confirmed that they've been found. Here in Papua New Guinea, there's been widespread power outages on the island of East New Britain, and locals there are reporting the death of 1 person in a landslide that was caused by heavy rainfall. Now, Tropical Cyclone Maila intensified to a Category 5 system yesterday, making it one of the most intense storms in the region this season. It's now dropped down to a Category 4, but local authorities here are still warning of wind gusts up to 260 kilometres per hour. So it's still a very strong storm and it's not over yet. And there are now grave concerns for particularly Woodlark Island and Budi Budi Island, which appear to be in the direct path of the cyclone. Now, local authorities are telling coastal communities and residents in Milne Bay Province and Bougainville to seek higher ground and shelter if they can as this cyclone passes through.
Now to reporter Connor Byrne, who is in Cairns. Hi Connor, so Cyclone Maila appears to be heading towards Queensland. Is it expected to make landfall?
Yes, the Bureau of Meteorology long-range forecast shows Tropical Cyclone Maila crossing the far north Queensland coast, somewhere from the Torres Strait in the north down to Hope Vale in the south, early next week. And specifically, it's most likely that Cyclone Maila will cross somewhere around Cohen and Lockhart River sometime on Tuesday as a Category 2 system. Now, this is almost precisely where Tropical Cyclone Narelle crossed the far north Queensland coast not even 3 weeks ago, and the communities there are still recovering. Now, the reason it might cross as a tropical Category 2 system is because conditions in the upper atmosphere may degrade the cyclone as it approaches us over the coming days. But these communities are still recovering, as I said, and Cookshire Mayor, who is, Cookshire covers most of the Cape York Peninsula, Robin Holmes. She says assessments of damage from Tropical Cyclone Narelle are still incomplete and still ongoing, and access is an issue. But she said recovery could take months or even years at this point. But as you'll hear now, Cookshire Mayor Robin Holmes says that recovery involves more than physical repair.
I think a lot of it is getting past that. You know, when you go back home, there's this emotional point, whether you've been out for the period cyclone crossed or whether you've been on farm and you've actually been in the cyclone and experienced it. So there's a whole bunch of feelings that come with that.
So Mayor Holmes says preparations for Maila have already begun, but she has urged anyone who has any concerns about another tropical cyclone to get in touch with her. Now, Lockhart River is also in the firing line for Tropical Cyclone Maila, and they are also recovering from Narelle. And the CEO, Dave Clark, says the community has enough fuel and water for vehicles and for aircraft and for generators. But he says the residents are still cooking on campfires from Narelle just 20 days ago. And this is along the Wenlock Nesbitt rivers, which experienced extreme flooding. But he says there will be a local disaster management group meeting tomorrow. But he says the community is alert but not alarmed.